First Nations leaders say Queensland is on the cusp of a historical reckoning, with the state's truth-telling inquiry to begin within weeks. It's a cornerstone of the government's path to treaty with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. But the inquiry and treaty process will be scrapped if the LNP wins the state election. In a moment, Jessica Van Vonderen will speak with long-time treaty advocate Dr Jackie Huggins. But first, a warning. This story contains images of Indigenous people who have died, which have been provided by family for the purpose of truth-telling and healing, and they request those photos should not be recorded or photographed.
These are the only photos that I have of my family.
Instead of family photo albums, Florence Onus has anthropological records.
They're regarded as full blood, half-caste, quarter-caste.
And mugshots.
This is my grandfather here. He died in his prison cell.
Painting a painful picture of 4 generations.
Our people were treated as criminals.
Uprooted from land, culture and loved ones. My
brother, sister and I were forcibly removed by the government from our mother, sent to the local orphanage here in Townsville, and then we were fostered out to our white foster mother.
The Bindal elder from Townsville believes shedding light on a legacy of intergenerational pain will promote healing.
We have to rewrite the narrative of this country, because the current narrative is one big lie.
Oh my God.
It's a record that'll be interrogated as Queensland's truth-telling inquiry begins this month, investigating how laws, policies and practices continue to take a toll on First Nations people.
Our terms of reference are very broad. They cover historical issues. They also look at issues which happen in the contemporary context, including housing, education, the criminal justice systems.
The inquiry is set to run for 3 years. Public hearings will begin next month, with sittings across the state.
Some of it will be quite traumatic for people to share that experience, and also for others in the community to actually hear about those experiences.
The inquiry is a major pillar of Queensland's historic path to treaty legislation, which passed last year. It also established a First Nations Treaty Institute, which is developing a framework for treaty negotiations with the state. The laws originally had bipartisan support.
We cannot shy away from the real experiences of Indigenous Australians throughout history.
But that changed after the failed Voice to Parliament referendum, when Queensland delivered the strongest no vote in the country.
It's my view that to continue down the path to treaty would cause further division at a time when Queensland needs unity.
If the LNP wins the October state election, the treaty process will be abandoned. So too will the truth-telling inquiry, which will have already been running for months.
It just sends us back to the dark ages. Those people need to come out of their dark caves. This is not Aboriginal history. This is Australian history. This is your history.
Lily Nothling, ABC News, Townsville.
Dr Jackie Huggins, thank you for being here. We've just seen that the truth-telling inquiry will get underway soon. You've been at the forefront of this push for many years. What does it mean to you that this next step will finally be taken?
Well, I can say it's about time. It's about time. The process has been very slow to date, but now it's before us, and I'm very excited about what it can do.
What are your hopes about what it will do?
What treaty and truth-telling in fact can do is to leave a lasting intergenerational legacy. And I think once we have those very deep conversations, people will be much more informed, educated, and it'll break down a lot of barriers in terms of the distance that we still have between us as Indigenous and non-Indigenous people in this country.
What is your reaction then when you see the opposition leader David Crisafulli saying that this whole process will be stopped if the LNP wins the election in October?
Well, I think that's very unfortunate. I'm still hoping that there might be a bipartisanship by which we can all come together, and I must say I don't agree with him that it will divide the state. In fact, I believe it will very much unite the state of ours once people have more information and education.
So if truth-telling and treaty is abandoned, what's the consequence of that?
Well, unfortunately, I must say there's not much left going for First Nations peoples, not only in this state, but in this country, because we don't have a voice, we don't have any representation at a national level now.
You mentioned the voice. What do you say to those Queenslanders who overwhelmingly voted against the voice about the need for treaty? Why should they support that?
Well, the referendum was about the voice. It did not give a mandate for people to say no to treaty or no to truth-telling. You name it, housing, education, employment, everything seems to be going backwards for our people. So unless we have structures in place to bring about a change, then I don't think we will ever close the gap in our lifetimes. Well, certainly not in my lifetime, and perhaps the next few generations, because we need people to listen, to learn, to share, and to come with us on this journey towards reconciliation.
Dr Jackie Huggins, thank you.
Thank you.